we're going to make pita breads and whipped cream cheese. I'm going to use the smoked cream cheese that I made the other day in my cold smoker, because it would be really nice to get that in there as well, and it adds an extra dimension of flavour. We're going to throw some extra bits in there. You can throw in whatever you want. It's pretty versatile. I started reading online lately and people are calling shit like that like mix-ins, and oh Jesus God, I hate that shit, mix-ins. It's ingredients is what it is. So yeah, we're just going to put some other cool stuff in. We're going to make some pita breads up, so that way when people come round and you're like, oh, I'm going to give them some chips and dips and olives and all this kind of stuff, all the lovely middle class bits, hummus, then you can make some of it yourself, and they'll like that even more. And they're way better than what you buy in the shop anyway, and they're dead easy and they're still cheap. So yeah, that's what's on today. So with no further ado, let's have a crack at it.
This is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm just going to follow what it says basically. So it wants me to put in 2 tablespoons of dry instant yeast. So just yeet that in. See you later. Take that. 270 grams of water, which I've already measured out anyway. I think I should get that fairly accurate. There you go. When it's happy, it'll even tell me it's happy because it's a cool little bit of kit. And then it wants a teaspoon of sugar. The reason we're putting this all in with the yeast and stuff is just so that the yeast has got like a minute to kind of reactivate and get back to being cool, good, active yeast again. And this is like, what's it called? Fast action yeast. It's the kind of yeast that I imagine that Grant Mitchell off EastEnders would have used. What's his real name again? I forget that dude's name. Either way, he would do a program about 100% of fast action yeast, because regular yeast just wouldn't be hard enough for him. So yeah, I'm going to just put that on there. I'll just do 30 seconds quick. I'll speed through this bit. Cool. So what I've done is just warmed up the yeast a little bit, giving it a bit of feed with the sugar and a bit of water. So now I've got to put in olive oil, strong white bread flour. Again, that sounds very much like a Grant Mitchell thing. And some sea salt. So cool. Just put the salt in with any old way. This thing ain't the boss of me. You're not going to get all the oil out of that because I'm an idiot. If you're doing this without one of these, obviously, you put at least some on the side, some are warm. That's totally fine. Use a bit of cling film just to make sure I get the rest of the oil out. Beautiful. Thick. And whack in my strong white bread flour. Oh, what the fuck, I'm just going to overload. Who gives a shit? That's close enough for me. Oh, and this will do all the kneading for me. If you're doing it without one of these, obviously, then just knead it for, I don't know, a lot longer. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't know. Well, that was good. You see the thing jiggling around a bit there as it kneads all the dough up, which is cool. Once that's done, I'm just going to transfer it into a clean bowl. I'm going to put cling film over the top of it. I'm going to put it somewhere warm. In this case, it'll be my oven, because my oven will be 30 degrees. Which is about right, I guess. And finance anyway, warmish, I suppose. Which I don't know. Prices of energy these days. Yeah, that's right, cool. So that's made like a pretty decent dough. Sweet as. So get this got out. Cool snot. Comes with like a little spatula thing that you can jam on the top. There you go, to get the little rotors going and fish your dough out without having to fuck around too much, which is nice. That'll do. Can't be asked for the rest of the script. Cool. So yeah, I'm just going to stick that somewhere warm for an hour, and then in the meantime I'm going to make the cream cheese, or the whipped cream cheese with jalapenos and all the rest of that. So cool. That's fucking nuts, isn't it? Look, like fallow. Look at that. Got a little chest mounted to the hickey for it just to see what that was like. I don't know, I'm doing this video. Oh, only done a finger. So you can put whatever you like. I'm going to do like a whipped cream cheese, and I'm going to put a bit of shallot in it because that's what I've got kicking about. Bit of lemon. Got some really bizarrely sweet jalapenos. I mean, they say there's hot and sweet on the packaging, so I really should have realised that they would be hot and sweet, because they are sure as fuck hot and sweet. But they're a bit too sweet for me to put in loads of stuff, so I'm just going to put them into this. I tried them out on like top of a hot dog and a few other bits, and yeah, it wasn't all that. Wasn't for me. Wasn't for me. But you can see me there, look, recursion. That is recursion. I don't actually mind a bit of the stalks of this parsley going in there, because it's going to give some nice texture anyway. Don't want shitloads of it, I've probably got too much out. We'll see how we go. I'm going to put garlic powder in it as well. I actually like garlic powder in some stuff, and this is one of those things. So that's what's going to happen. View the floor there. I'll get used to this one time. What do you think? Is it nice, isn't it? This is like a little view of what it's like to be me. Like being John Malkovich, except it's being Orangutan Trading Co. What do you reckon? Is this a good time for you? I'm thinking of you right now. Not in that way, not in a bad way, but what it must be like to look through the eyes of another. What fucking weird. So I'm just going to work the knife through this parsley a bit. I'm not particularly fussy, and again, I haven't cooked for a living for a long ass time, so my knife skills are absolutely diabolical these days. Just going to put these bits here, because they're there. Actually used to be good at chopping things, believe it or not. When you start in restaurants and kitchens and stuff, basically when you begin, you're everybody's whipping boy, so you are cutting all the veg, you're doing all of that shit. But then you get really good at cutting shit, so even that's like a really useful developmental point. Cool, that'll probably do for that. I'm going to go get the cream cheese and all the other shit, and then, hey, look at this, hey, this is for you, this is for you, give yourself a double thumbs up. Okie dokie, cool. So I'm using the smoked cream cheese that I made with that little cheap cold smoker that I made. So yeah, still good. Smells fucking amazing. So what we're going to do, anyway, we're going to whisk it up basically, and what we're trying to do, it's at room temperature, right, which is important because we want to be able to like add a bit of air into it really. And then we're going to add a little bit of cream cheese, cream cheese, it's already cream cheese. We're going to add a little bit of double cream into there as well, just so that we can add a bit of air into that and to sort of cut through a little bit. We're then going to add the bit of lemon juice, all these ingredients and some other stuff. So there we go. So let's see how this whisks. Hopefully all right. It's like the ceiling cover of these things, isn't it? But yeah, texture of that's really light already, which is cool. Just going to give it a little bit more, I think. Need like 5 hands. Maybe another 30 seconds, I think. Right, that'll do that. Then I'm going to add a little bit of double cream in there. Give that a little whip. Not loads, man, like a few tablespoons probably. But yeah, that'll probably do me for that. I can just see the texture starting to re-stiffen just a little bit there, which is what I want. Ross Kemp as well. It was Ross Kemp. I googled it in between. It was Ross Kemp who I'm talking about, who would have definitely fast, instant action yeast and strong bread flour. He wouldn't settle for anything less performatively masculine than the most manly of flours and yeasts. Probably harvested from a drug cartel in Guatemala or something, I imagine. Cool, so that's that in there. Then I'm just going to whack all these ingredients in basically. Put the parsley in. It's nice to... Oh, I'm just going to leave that on the table. Fuck it, there you go. That'll work. Probably about half of that, actually. So yeah, I'm just using like whatever I had lying around, really. A bit of parsley, I had a shallot left over from when I last made a pepper sauce with the stock that I made. So you put whatever you want in. And then I'm going to just mix it up a bit. I've got stray pepper now. 2. Normally do it over my hand so that I catch all the pips, and this time around, because I'm focusing a lot, I'm being able to see myself in the little second screen I've got for this camera, and it's like watching someone playing a video game. It's really weird. I think being an elder millennial, my brain's been broken by video games. I'm just going to whack a tiny bit. These garlic granules in, probably like yay much for that amount. A bit of pepper. I've got the bougie grinder, right? Because when you have to, I might have said this before in another video, I can't even remember. But yeah, when you're mucking around with trying to like season up big joints of meat and stuff, you actually often need 2 hands to be or at least 1 hand rather, to be moving stuff around. So if I'm holding my meat with 1 hand, then I don't have enough hands left to be able to grind a pepper grinder, and I want fresh pepper. So I bought a set of those when they were cheap in the January sales, and although I feel like a massive idiot for having them, they're actually really handy. So I don't feel like that much. I feel like an idiot until I use them, and then I feel really smug for about 3 seconds, and then I feel stupid again. Yes, wrap my knife through these. Don't want them massive. Don't want them too small. Yeah, I'm going to put a lot in. Fuck it on. We like a bit of spice in this house. But you could put anything in here as well. You could be putting in like your chipotle paste. You could be putting in all your mustards and stuff like that. Bits of grated apple and such. Just anything you like, really. Making it real interesting. Cool beans. That's going to go in. Quick. Give my hands a wipe. Hands wiped. Cool. Oh, sorry, Mr. Orangutan. Just going to put him back up now. It's an important part of the proceeding. My house has got loads of orangutan related stuff in it, as I'm sure you can imagine. Because it started off as like a really daft idea, and then I actually really got into it, and I think the brainworms as well quite like the orangutan stuff. So I'm trying not to like batter this too much, because what I don't want to do is like push the little bit of air that I've managed to get into it out. I'm folding it in. It always used to confuse me when I started cooking with this and like fold it in. And what it just means is be like hella fucking gentle. Be nice to it. Like that. Cool. So that's about that. I'm just going to give that a quick try actually. Man, that's fucking good. I won't double dip it because it's on video. Oh, I would do it if you weren't watching though, all day long. No, that's really nice. It needs just a touch more salt actually. I don't think there's salt in it. That's why it needs some salt in it. Like that. A little bit more jus de limon. Get the pips out this time. Oh, yeah, that's well nice, man. Cool. Well, the smokiness really comes through still, and you get like the heat and the sweetness from these sweet hot jalapenos, and you get a nice bit of balance for everything else. It's decent. You could get all nerdy now and put it into like a piping bag and pipe it out into things if you want, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put it in a tub. And that's the jalapenos. They're really nice, actually. Mad little, like overly sweet things, but decent. Yeah, boy. Oh, cool. I'm going to tub that up. Then finish these pit breads off, innit? Ciao. Alright, cool. So the dough's proved now, as you can see in there. Oh, hi. It's like doubled in size, tripled in size. Christ, I don't even know. I had to wash out the big silver bowl thing that I've got. It's not really silver, it's just a big metal bowl to do the cream cheese in, because I cleverly realised that I only had the one bowl and I put this dough in it. So I moved it into a pan. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pan on the top, I've done it. That's a bit. I'll have this flouring. what I want to do is split it into about 8 pieces, and I'm going to roll it into little balls and leave it to rest for 15 minutes. So I've also washed my hands, and I've also washed the countertop here. Cool, so there. Not actually very good with doughs or pastries or anything like that, funnily enough. It was something that I was always a bit crap at. Cool, about that. That'll do. I mean, these look exactly the same size, right? Probably not. Might take a bit off that one. Pop it on there. Now what I want to do is roll it into balls. So the easiest way to do it is to take it in your hand and make a little like C shape, like that, out your hand. And then kind of like rolling it, and I'm using my thumb to tuck it as I go. I'll just do that. And I'll get a pretty decent ball. You know? So really easy. So if I just do it slowly, like that. Ah, that's magic! That's what Paul Daniels would say if he wasn't rotting in the ground. Probably in hell. I wonder if Paul Daniels was a nonce, actually. I mean, I don't know. Do you think Paul Daniels would have got U-treed? I think he probably would have got U-treed at some point, wouldn't he? If ever there was anybody that probably would have been in U-tree, along with Roll Paris. Cliff Richard as well. I still think that one day Cliff Richard's going to get in a lot of bother. I think that's why he's gone so quiet, to be honest. This is an interesting bit of cookery video, isn't it, really? We're talking about Operation U-tree and Cliff Richards. But anyway, so I'm going to get back on topic. Why make pita breads rather than just buy them at the shop for like 60p or whatever they are? Because I like cooking, and because they're a lot nicer than the ones you buy from the shop. It's shit cheap to make. It's really, really easy. It's just a few ingredients. There's nothing much in there. And they're a lot nicer. So, yeah, why not make them? That's the question, isn't it? This one's going to be a fucking beast because it's too big. Okay, easy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to whack a bit of clay from over the top room just so the surface doesn't dry out too much. Leave it for about 15 minutes. This countertop doesn't stay very warm because it's granite, which is good. Keeping some things on. Could probably do with putting this somewhere warm, but fuck it, can't be bothered. So yeah, 15 minutes later, see you in a bit. Cool, so these have now had about 20 minutes actually. Oh, you bugger, look at that, the cling film's sticking to it. Who knew that would happen? I bet you someone out there was watching it going, this is definitely going to happen. You should have floured the top of the things. But whatever, look at that. You can't beat me. Cool. So we'll roll them out to about 15 centimetres-ish. Which, I don't know how long that is, I haven't got a fucking ruler with me. Longish. These actually. Bugger off over there. A little ball. In the meantime, I put the oven on 250 degrees, and I put a baking tray in there because what you want to do with these to make them kind of open up a bit in the middle, you've got to put them into a really, really hot oven with a tray that's already really hot. So the second they hit it, the water in there starts to try and escape, creates that little steam layer in the middle. Cool. Surprising how nice and stretchy this is already for having such a short amount of time to it. A bit bigger than 15 centimetres, isn't it? Fuck knows. I'm sure it'll contract a bit. Alright, cool, so the oven's screaming hot, it's 250, which is like hotter than you do even Yorkshire puddings and stuff at, real fucking hot. I'll get the old tray out. This should take about 5 minutes-ish. I'm going to better get a couple on the tray at a time, I think, so it's going to take me a while to actually session them all through. Let's see what happens. Am I going to stand here for 5 minutes? Am I? Fuck. Oh, yeah, boy. Look at this. Oh my god, that's hot. I'm going to give him like another minute. That way runs. Pretty decent there, huh? And then, yeah, like crumpets, man, really, you kind of leave them to go cool a bit and then re-toast them and then they're fucking cracking. Yeah. Don't know what else to say, really. Fucking Pitta breads, isn't it, mate? Boss man now. And there you go, cool. See, Pitta bread. Just pop this one back in the toaster after like a day. Keeping it. It's pretty hot. Look at that. Look at that. Beauty. And then, yeah, that's my dip. That's fucking banging. Yeah, man. You should definitely do this. Oh, man. It's so good. God damn. Well, oh, there you go. If you ever imagine what it was like listening to me with a mouthful of food, all your dreams have just come true. So, wicked. Make these. Make them. It's good. Make them. Right, cheers. Bye.